It's Breaking the News with Des Clark.
I am Des Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. At a safe distance from me this week is stand-up Jay Lafferty, and on her team it's comedian and writer Dane Baptiste, and facing them is comedian, writer and stand-up Tiffany Stevenson, and with her it's blind comedian Jamie McDonald. In the news this week, Scottish jurors could be asked to watch trials in cinemas under plans to get the justice system moving through the pandemic. However, during a test case at the Odeon involving a gangland war, one juror asked to be excused from the trial of the Larkhall 4 as he hadn't seen the first three. James Murdoch, the younger son of tabloid media mogul Rupert Murdoch, has resigned from the board of News Corporation, citing disagreements over editorial content, which is a real shock to the media industry and corporate culture, says Crystal, 23, from Kirkcaldy. And a new scheme will see cyclists get free bicycle repairs worth up to £50 in Scotland. The initiative is to be funded by the cyclists themselves, who will raise money by holding out a swear jar to any overtaking cars. Let's crack on with round one. Woo! Hey! Woo, woo, woo! This is the Broken News round, where the teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Jay and Dane, can you tell me our first story, please?
In a results day marred by controversy,
the Moray MP, Douglas Ross, has now been confirmed as the new leader of
the Scottish Qualifications Authority. 138,000 Scottish pupils
put themselves forward to replace Jackson Carlaw, who resigned last week after
going down from a teacher's predicted score of B to a C.
It was a big week of news in Scotland. Any ideas, Jay, what our first story might be?
So I think what we're talking about here is the Scottish exam results coming in, and a lot of the young people from the not affluent areas, have been marked down. And there's been a huge uproar about it, as there should, because it's totally unfair. The whole point of prelims is to scare you into studying for your exams. Like, if I had been judged on my prelims, I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing now, because my exam results were only marginally better.
Well done. It is the news that Scotland's class of 2020 this week got their exam results. The overall pass rate was up, but thousands of Scottish school pupils received worse results than they'd been expecting after the country's exam body lowered 125,000 estimated grades, which is a quarter of the total. Now, some pupils believe they were penalised because their schools have historically not performed as well as those in more affluent areas. But Education Secretary John Swinney insisted the data does not bear this out. Now, with all the exams cancelled this year due to coronavirus, results were awarded based on the answer to one simple multiple choice question. Are you from A, Newton Mearns, B, Govan, C, Morningside, or D, Coatbridge? Oh, it sums it up, doesn't it, Jay?
What I think should happen is that everybody should automatically get the pass they need, right? Because these teenagers have spent the last 4 months locked up with their parents. Throw them a bone. I spent a weekend in Keswick with my parents when I was 18, and I considered joining the circus by lunchtime on the Saturday. Give them a break. Give them all A's.
Dean, what about this? Obviously observing it from down south, and the exam results in England are going to be coming out in the next week or two as well. Do you think this seems fair?
In a word, no, I think it's massively unfair. I completely agree with Jay. I think anyone from now on, moving forward, if they're so important and they give an address to anybody, I want to see their qualifications in the top right-hand corner of any conference they ever have. From now on, if you're going to give expert advice, whether it pertains to, COVID, let's see your grades. That's how it should work. Like, I don't know what the grades were of any of the cabinet or members of parliament were, and therefore I don't know if speaking meritocratically, they're the best person for that particular job.
That's very diplomatically put.
I didn't even learn that word in school, so how about that?
Tiff, what did you make of this whole situation?
Well, being marked down 15%, some of them were, and I know this feeling. It's like when you pay full price for something and then it goes on sale the next day.
Jamie, what do you think about it? What should happen now?
I do think they should overhaul the exam system anyway, because you're given this ton of information to learn that you have to regurgitate on a kind of non-negotiable specific date, and if you don't shine, you're screwed. All that prepares you for is a slot on Breaking the News.
Somehow it came in useful for you, Jamie, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, look, just back to this and the whole idea of school and the exam results coming in. It's obviously made us think about our own school days. So, Jay, picture yourself, you go back in time. What advice would you give now to your school-age self?
High school was just about the way that you looked. So I think I would go back and say, don't overpluck your eyebrows because it was just in the 90s. They won't grow back and you'll be so out of fashion in your 30s. It's unbelievable.
I have the opposite problem. My eyebrows grow like an old man's nose hair.
What about yourself?
My old man's nose hair grows like a little eyebrow.
Like one of my eyebrows.
Scottish exam results is the right answer. Jay and Dane, well done. You get 2 points for that. Now to you, Tiff and Jamie. What was the other story we were after?
Douglas Ross, he's replaced Jackson Carlo.
It is the news that Douglas Ross has been confirmed as the new leader of the Scottish Conservatives. The Murray MP was the only candidate to put their name forward to replace Jackson Carlaw, who quit as party leader last week. Mr Ross hopes to win a seat at Holyrood, but has said that he's no plans to quit the House of Commons before the next general election. Now, former leader Ruth Davidson has agreed to stand in for Mr Ross at First Minister's questions until next year's Scottish Parliament election. And in related news, Miss Davidson is to be appointed to the House of Lords at the age of just 41. Ruth Davidson's elevation to the peerage will lower the average age of the House of Lords down to a sprightly 178. First impressions of Douglas Ross, Jamie?
Oh, he's winning on the name front. Doogie Ross. You know, everyone knows a Doogie Ross. Doogie Ross is a good guy. Doogie Ross is a trustworthy guy. Tick, you know, so he's going to be more powerful on that front.
I thought it was an interesting observation in the name as well, Jamie, because they've gone from Jackson Carlaw to Douglas Ross. It seems like they've replaced a guy with 2 surnames with a man with 2 first names. I don't know if this is some tactic there trying to switch it up, but
I'm sure I've driven from Jackson Carlaw to Douglas Ross.
it's a lovely walk.
I feel like, isn't being the leader of the Scottish Tories a bit like being a sibling to the Queen? Like, you're never getting on the throne, but you can look at it longingly.
What about you, Jay? Obviously, we've got a new change of leadership. It was, in the end, a coronation for Douglas Ross at the head of the Scottish Conservatives. First impressions?
Right. So I just want to break this down. So the Conservative Party in Scotland have unanimously elected a leader who can't actually be the leader. So the old leader before the last leader is going to step in and be the kid-on leader until the actual leader who can't be a leader is possibly in a position to be the leader actually becomes leader. And that situation is still better than Jackson Carlaw.
Dane, I'll bring you in here. I don't know how much you're in tune with what happens in Scotland with politics.
He's someone who probably said something like, I don't mind getting my hands dirty. And they were like, welcome to the Conservative Party. And then he was like, I'm not sure we mean the same thing. And they were like, we'll see.
The other interesting thing about Douglas Ross is that a lot of people that watch football in Scotland know him because he's a qualified football referee and often runs the line at games. So I'm thinking if next year's election doesn't go his way, is he just going to try and get it to go to VAR? Maybe
Well, think about it this way, Des. Like, when children are growing up and you talk to a kid about being a professional footballer, which is a dream for many, many men and women on the British Isles, and then you go, where would you like to play? And that person says, on the line. Be scared of that person. No one trying to qualify their worth to people be like, I like football. I like telling people what they did wrong. Yeah.
There's also this idea that Ruth Davidson is returning to frontline politics in Scotland. She's taken over his role at First Minister's questions.
I am looking forward to Ruth Davidson coming back because I like Ruth, right? It's like when Sonia came back on EastEnders and everyone was just waiting for her to blow her trombone.
Yes. But it brings about this idea about what it takes to become a leader. What would you be an effective leader for?
Well, I do have a strong Scottish following, but I am engaged to him.
The only people that follow me are twitchy staff in shops that sell pottery. that is really it. Like, I'm not a leader. I'm not a follower either. I just knock a lot of pots down in shops.
Douglas Ross will not be the first Scottish political party leader to be involved in top-level sport. Labour's Richard Leonard has been national hide-and-seek champion for the past 3 years. So well done, Tiff and Jamie. You get 2 points for that. It was the mashup of this year's exam results and the new Scottish Conservative Party leader. And at the end of that round, the teams are all square.
Hey.
Now, so much of our news is about public opinion, so obviously we're not out and about in the streets with microphones at the moment, but we have caught up with two well-known Scottish voices. And this week we spoke to Still Game star Jane McCarry and star of Scot Squad Darren Connell. So Tiff and Jamie, what story do you think Darren is on about here?
It's been around for many years now, and I've been doing this as a job for a long, long time. If you want to pay £14 for a fish supper, this is the place to go. I won't be watching this online. I don't want to watch a guy on a unicycle juggling tangerines. Absolutely not.
I think it's about the Edinburgh Fringe.
That is the right answer, correct. While the Edinburgh festivals, including the Fringe and International Festival, are obviously not going ahead as planned this year, both have announced digital events that will be taking place instead.
I should be in stage 5 of Edinburgh now. I don't know if you know the stages of Edinburgh. They're similar to the stages of grief. There's stage 1, denial. That normally happens in July. Like, oh, it's not next month, is it? Stage 2, anger. Why didn't I do more previews? Mm-hmm. Stage 3, bargaining. Is it just too late to pull the entire run?
I've talked to comedians at this very stage going, right, all I need now is an illness or a job offer from ITV, then I can legitimately pull the whole thing.
Yeah. Stage 4 is depression. No one's going to come anyway.
Yep.
Stage 5 is acceptance. I'm in the loft bar. I'm on my 3rd martini.
Yeah. It's a sad one, Jamie. I know you had a big show lined up this year, didn't you?
I did. I'm gutted, because this is the 1 year in time where visual impairment and the calendar align. My show was going to be called 2020 Vision.
Oh, yes.
And I can never, ever call it that again. And I'm so gutted. Oh. But I'm going to miss it for so many reasons. Like the stuff I used to hate, like I'll miss the crowds, I'll miss the noise. And what Tiff was saying about stage 5, I'll miss stage 6, which comes after acceptance when you're walking through and somebody flyers you for your own show. You know, it's like, fancy seeing some Scottish comedy this evening? That's real. It is, how funny, yeah.
What do you think, though, Jay? And obviously you're someone like myself that's done it for many years. What are you going to miss most about the Edinburgh Festival's not being around this year?
I actually did think about performing my Fringe show every night in August just in front of my husband and baby son, but then I realised that was double my normal audience and I got too nervous. So I
just... Dean, what about yourself? Do you buy into the online thing? Do you think it can ever be as good?
I feel like it could potentially be. I really feel like the immersive online, we've done to do a lot more Zoom gigs, and I just think it's something we just need to get used to. And I also feel like as well, the great thing about the digital aspect of a Fringe would be people could give their own reviews digitally as well. So we'd no longer have to rely on some angry middle-class white man that wants to be a part of the Cambridge Footlights, and now he's got an axe to grind and goes around giving people terrible reviews because he's got a laptop and a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. Dane, it read like a 4.
Yeah. Right?
The Edinburgh Festivals and the fact that they're going online is the correct answer. 2 points go to Tiff and Jamie. Well done. Right to you, Jay and Dane. Here's Jane McCarry, and what is she talking about here?
The latest gimmick that's taking the world by storm involves the body's biggest organ. I do spend quite a lot of money on this. Well, I have done, if you would count it up over the years. Cleopatra did it with royal jelly. Cavemen did it with the fat of chickens. I've done that myself. My advice would be try this craze. Keep it cheap and simple, and you won't go far wrong.
So I think what Jane is talking about is this new beauty routine, which is called skin fasting, which sounds like Hannibal Lecter's Vegetarian Day. It's about getting rid of all of your products, all of your cleanser, all of your kind of gels, all of that sort of thing, and just using plain water on your skin. And yes, because apparently we spend £570 on skincare every year. During lockdown, things have been a bit simpler because who's wearing makeup in lockdown? I mean, other than yourself, Des, who is wearing makeup in lockdown? I mean, even to be fair to you, Des, even you have stopped using the fake tan. You want to see him right now? He looks like a garlic clove at some reason.
Yeah,
Distinguished.
I'm Peely Wally, that's what it is. Yeah. And as Jay says, I'm still wearing foundation every day. The building site round the corner noticed the concrete going missing, so I'll have to try and return that to them at some point soon. Dane, what about this then? Skin fasting.
Now, first of all, there are a lot of products that we use on our skin that is not good for us, like a lot of mineral oils. Like when I was growing up, my mum thought it was okay to put petroleum jelly on my face, which people know as Vaseline. Vaseline is petroleum jelly. I feel like any product that starts with petroleum should not be rubbed into human skin. So, also, a splash of water, a splash of Thames water, you don't want that. That's going to have to be boiled and mixed with activated charcoal.
Love that. That's brilliant. Tiff, what about you? What do you think about this? First of all, skin fasting. Are you into it?
Well, I love that they've given it that name. Like, women aren't going to try it unless it sounds like a diet.
Exactly.
So, I have so many creams now in my cupboard. I've got one to get rid of wrinkles, one to get rid of spots, one to get rid of bags. I'm basically aiming for no face. That seems to be...
Vanishing cream.
Yeah, that seems to be the ideal. Like, no face is the beauty standard. I do think women and men are sold slightly differently. You know, for women, they'll like say signs of aging, and for men, they say fatigue. So they like sell products to men as if you're returning war heroes. That's the language.
Jamie, what about you? Skin fasting, the new craze. What do you think of it?
I don't use many products since my gran, when we were younger, used to supplement our Christmas presents with a kind of body lotion and aftershave set from Giorgio Ferrari. And I do doubt it's Italian Providence, right? This stuff, it would suck the dryness out of your skin, and then you'd put the aftershave on and hit the roof. Do you know what I mean? And then at Christmas dinner, like, you couldn't tell the difference between my face and the Christmas ham. So I do quite a light regimen.
Yes, we have been talking about the latest beauty trend, which is skin fasting. That is the right answer, and 2 points go to Jay and Dane. You're tuned to a socially distant breaking the news on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who is in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Jay and Dane, you're up first this time. Who is this?
I'm a Canadian, but I'm mostly a citizen of the planet and a student of history.
Neil Young, he's suing Donald Trump and Donald Trump's administration for using his song as a part of his re-election campaign, and he's been like, not my song.
Yes, Neil Young is suing Donald Trump's re-election campaign for repeatedly using his music without his permission, in a move not seen since Joe Biden's first election bid when he was sued by Beethoven. So, it's a mix of music and politics. First of all, Jay, on Neil Young, are you surprised that he's gone as far as this to talk about suing Donald Trump?
No, I'm not surprised. I think Neil should have. I mean, the Rolling Stones also threatened legal action, but then they had to get back in their cryo generator for another 3 months before they could speak again.
Jamie, what about yourself? First of all, Neil Young taking on Donald Trump. Are you surprised at this?
Well, I think they're both roughly similar ages, and if they were going to be pals, it would have happened by now. And I would have just loved it if they were pals back in the 60s, that supergroup Crosby, Stills, Nash, Young and Trump. That would be amazing.
Yeah. We've got Neil Young here, Tiff, coming out and saying that he's going to sue Donald Trump.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that music and politics should mix. Because he couldn't get any bans for the inauguration either, could he? I remember this being a problem last time round. Like, he was trying to get bans for the inauguration, and it ended up being like Donald Jr. reciting a limerick about a young woman from Ealing. The Rockettes, only 3 of them showed up.
What?
Yes. Yeah, these were the and then 17 hours of military bans because they don't have a choice. So they've got to, like, that's the only people that Trump could kind of get to play for them.
I think Scottish politics should embrace this. I think we should do a reality TV show where we get the public to match the pop star with the MP. I mean, the Lib Dems would obviously get matched with Coldplay or Elbow, not the band, just an elbow. The Greens could be represented by a vegan DJ who nobody's hip enough to have heard of yet. And of course, the SNP would insist on broadcasting daily singing their own tune that's different from everybody else's tune. And then Plaid Cymru would sing another tune that sounded quite like that. So that's where we are.
Let's just ask this question. What song do you think best defines you?
I mean, there's probably songs that I would like to think define me, but what's the song? What's the song by Pink? Just Like a Pill. That's how I've been described most of the time by ex-girlfriends. So I'd probably say that's probably one of them.
Isn't the second line of that, instead of making me better, you keep making me feel ill?
We don't have to get into the depths of the lyrics, okay? It can be allegorical. Music isn't the literal thing.
Sorry, you're right. I apologise. Well done. 2 points go to Jay and Dane. That was Neil Young. Right, Tiff and Jamie, you're up now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
You know, I know that I know what the blood's made out of. I know the knives are not real. I know this. I know that. It doesn't matter. I love to be shocked, and yet I hate it.
Is that Courtney Cox?
It is exactly Courtney Cox. Yes, it is the news that Courtney Cox is returning as reporter Gail Weathers for a 5th instalment of the beloved horror franchise Scream. The actress and Friends star confirmed the news on Instagram by posting a video of the villain's black and white mask with the words, "I can't wait to see this face again," in red. Courtney Cox wants to give us something that will really terrify us. Yes, she's selling package holidays to Spain. Tiff, are you a Courtney Cox fan?
I'd like to see a bit more of Monica Geller in her Gail character, like combining the two. So, like, she obsessively tidies up after the serial killer, you know, cooking when she's stressed. Her brother turns up who owns a really bad pair of leather trousers. You know, that kind of thing.
But the idea as well of this year, where it seems like real life's terrified us so much, we're looking for another scary movie. Why do you think it is, Jamie, that we seem to really enjoy scary films?
I have no idea, because I can't stand scary films. I don't know why you would voluntarily terrify yourself. Like, I've got a mate who loves them, and he was just winding me up, because he knows, like the biggest scene in my life is when Forrest Gump cries at Jenny's grave, right? That's as hard as I go. And he told me about a film called Hostel. He's like, oh, it's a really good bit where a lassie gets her eye melted. It's like, why do you want to, why are you telling me that? Why do I want to see that? I honestly don't get it.
There are certain hostels you can stay in around Scotland that'll happen for real. That was a documentary, Jamie.
I think in Scotland we love scary movies because we like to yell at people, don't we? We love screaming at the screen. My friend, the other, Des, you know this friend, we quite enjoy just taking him to the cinema to hear his reaction. And we went to see the movie Get Out, and he shouted so much that ironically he was asked to leave. He was asked to get out.
I'm with him. I hate them. I really can't stand horror films. I'm such a big scaredy cat.
Good man.
I am, also not a massive fan of the horror genre. However, I am a Courtney Cox fan. I thought her performance was really cool, and I'd like to see her reprise the role as a primary antagonist. There's a lot of franchises that have only really been that good because of a leading woman as a protagonist. Sigourney Weaver in Alien, and even Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. These are the things I would love to see continue.
Whoopi Goldberg
9 Fast and Furious films. Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act and in Jumping Jack Flash. Oh my God!
Yeah.
And Ghost.
Yeah.
Right.
Back in the habit.
If there's 9 Fast and Furious films, there should be at least 5 Sister Act films.
Yes.
In terms of the fear factor, though, it's something that really divides people. You either love being scared or not. So here's a question for you. I'm going to start with you, Tiff. What scares you the most?
A positive pregnancy test.
Dane, what about you then? Obviously, we live in a world of fear. What scares you the most?
The fact that every single scenario involving fear, even in horror films, normally people go, I'm so scared, I'm going to call the police. That's not an option I have. So that's what I find scary. Law enforcement in general.
Dane, you and me must have had very different experiences when we watched The Bill.
Yeah, pretty much. I get a relief when I see the feet at the end credits. That's the last time I watched.
Courtney Cox is the right answer. And 2 points go to Tiff and Jamie. Woo! And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. So I'll read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
The weather got the better of us.
That's presenter of The Nine, Martin Geisler, explaining why to cancel last week's barbecue. Right, here we go. 46% of mums have admitted what?
To faking it. Like when their kids are like, I love you, mummy. He's like, yeah, I love you too.
Not quite the answer we're looking for, though, sadly. 46% of mums have admitted what?
Is it not giving two hoots how soft fairy liquid makes your hands?
46% of mums have admitted what?
That they don't go to Iceland.
46% of mums have admitted what?
Wishing they'd just gone for a dog.
The right answer actually was that 46% of mums have admitted that their partners annoy them more than their children.
The weather got the better of us.
Oh, there you go. That is the klaxon. Martin is Geisler. And it means at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Jay Lafferty and Dane Baptiste. Hey! Hey! Oh, and commiserations to Tiff Stevenson and Jamie McDonald. And we'll leave you with the breaking news just in. Spitting Image has unveiled its puppet of Boris Johnson before the show's return to TV later this year. His chief advisor, Dominic Cummings, will also feature in the show. He'll be the one pulling all the strings. A rare Rolex watch, made famous when Sean Connery played James Bond, is expected to fetch £150,000 at auction 50 years after it was bought second-hand for just 20 quid. The current owner realised its heritage when adjusting the watch for British summertime and accidentally turned the garden shed into a helipad. And pupils, parents and teachers continue to reel at this year's exam results, with the SQA's performance described in some quarters as a Grade A disaster. Sorry, I've just been told that Grade A has been adjusted to a D-. That's 2020 for you. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye.